he is quitting, but is clearly very unhappy around the circumstances which he feels he's been forced to go. Mr. Raab made it very clear that if any of the complaints were upheld, he would resign. 2 complaints have been upheld, and therefore he's felt compelled to stand down. But in the letter, he makes it very clear that he believes the thresholds are too low by which these claims have been upheld. He says that it sets a dangerous precedent. He says he's genuinely sorry for any unintended stress or offence that officials felt. But he also goes on to say, as I said, the setting for bullying is so low, this inquiry set a dangerous precedent. It will encourage spurious complaints against ministers and have a chilling effect on those driving change on behalf of your government and ultimately the British people. He goes on to say, as Rob was pointing out, that he still supports the government and still supports Mr. Sunak. So where does it leave the Prime Minister? Well, in a way, Anna, for Mr. Raab to resign rather than ask the Prime Minister or compel the Prime Minister to have to sack him, it makes it easier for Rishi Sunak because Mr. Raab has resigned of his own accord. He hasn't forced the hand of his boss. But where does it leave Rishi Sunak? Well, it leaves him without his closest political ally, a loyal lieutenant. He loses his deputy prime minister. He's going to have to reconfigure his cabinet now. And in terms of some of the remarks that Mr. Raab made in his resignation letter, there has been a sense from some ministers that Mr. Raab was being forced out by the civil service. Now, of course, civil servants would contest that, but some ministers and former cabinet ministers might see this as a sort of win of Whitehall against the government, and that it sets, as Raab has said, a precedent in which more claims can be made against ministers.